Some people say peace is on the way, but the worst is still to come.
Morning, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you're all well. Donald Trump, peace in our time. Israel, Hamas, Gaza, Palestine, the conflict, October the 7th, summary of everything there and kind of what's happened. So, we've got peace apparently, but already, I think we're 2 days into this peace deal here. And it's surfacing that it might not last. It might not last. So this is just the Sun. The hidden dangers in Trump's Gaza ceasefire, including chilling terror threat to the West. So that's on the Sun. If we look here, this is Rabbi Pinchas Taylor's channel. Son of Hamas. The world has no clue what Hamas is really planning. So, yeah, it is, again, I don't believe myself, as I've said before, I don't believe this peace deal will last for many reasons, to be honest. I mean, there's the nature of Hamas and their ideology, there's Iran in the background, who I'm sure I haven't forgot Israel have just blew the shit out of them. Yeah, and the whole sort of Muslim Brotherhood and the whole ideology that should be no Israel, that hasn't gone away. That definitely hasn't gone away here. So this peace deal is on very, very shaky ground, and it links into, and I've mentioned this before, and it's a difficult subject to approach, to be honest, at many times I find, because half of the world, well, probably more than half the world, do not believe this version of events. So it's very difficult to try and tell people why we know what's going to happen when you don't believe the book that tells us what's going to happen. That's part of the problem here. That's part of the problem. You will not believe that we live in a book. The book isn't finished yet. The book will be finished. We're making big strides towards finishing that book. And yeah, the future's going to be an absolute shit show. That's how we know. That's how we know the future's going to be a shit show. It's written in a book. It's written in a book. So, the same book absolutely has everything to do with what's going on and the area of the planet, which is where it's going on. The book, of course, is the Bible. The area of the planet is Israel. Mentioned a lot in the Bible. It was destroyed in 552 BC, I believe, by the Babylonians and the Assyrians, and there was no Israel up until the end of the Second World War, when the United Kingdom, us, give the land, now known as Israel again, to the Rothschilds, and the State of Israel was born. And in effect, in current time, I suppose, modern times, fairly modern times, us, the United Kingdom, fulfilled Bible prophecy by putting Israel back in the land. We literally fulfilled Bible prophecy. So, whether you believe in the Bible or not, well, not a bad idea, because again, we are living in this book. Again, there'll be more to this. Hold on. So, Donald Trump, peace fix, Gaza ceasefire. A lot of people already don't believe it's going to last. So, I've mentioned this before. The Bible, Antichrist, head wound. Right, in Revelation 13.3, as it says here. The head wound of the Antichrist comes from Revelation 13.3, where one of the 7 heads of the beast appeared to be wounded to death, but the deadly wound was healed. So, this is interpreted, this is an AI overview, this is interpreted by many as a counterfeit resurrection that causes the world to marvel and worship the beast. The wound can refer to either the individual Antichrist or the empire he leads. Right, that's just an AI overview of that sort of the whole Antichrist head wound thing. So basically, it is very, very cryptic revelation, and again, as it says there, it could refer to the empire he leads, and the empire being struck, but then that would mean the empire recovers according to this. But anyway, you read it how you want and think about it what you want. I'm just mentioning that that is a thing in the Bible about a head wound. Now, we had Donald Trump, the man who has brought the peace, who was shot in the head, if everybody remembers, and in the ear, more precisely. And it was a head wound that was very, 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 very close. It couldn't have been any closer if it was all real. We don't know. It couldn't have been any closer to killing the man, should it be real. Again, I don't know if it was or it wasn't, because we live in a crazy fucking world where people do weird shit, like Charlie Kirk, as an example. So fuck knows whether that whole thing's real or it was just to sort of galvanise Trump and make the world love him, because it's kind of what it says here as well in Revelation, that there's a fatal head wound. Here we have it in, I'll just go down to the Bible Gateway. One of its heads appeared to be fatally wounded. So again, he looked like he was shot in the head. It could have been absolute fatal. It was millimeters from being fatal. But the fatal wound was healed. The whole earth was amazed and followed the beast. So that's in the Bible. We've seen Donald Trump get a head wound. Didn't die, recovered. The whole world was kind of amazed and followed the man, thinking he can, again, look, even Britain at this very moment in time is following Donald Trump and looking to Donald Trump. He's made peace in Israel. So again, this is kind of not perfectly, but again, pretty much perfectly. Fatal head wound. Again, he was shot in the head. He could have very much died inches from death, and the whole world was amazed and followed the beast. That's kind of what happened, to be honest. That's kind of what happened with Donald Trump. He was shot in the head, looked fatal, wasn't, recovered, the whole world followed the beast. He got elected, he's brought peace to Israel. Even Britain are looking to him because of what's happening in Britain. So that's kind of literally what happened, to be honest. So again, for a book that's thousands of years old, predicting the future, it's done all right. It's done all right. So we'll move on. That's just one prediction about the Antichrist in the Bible. Moving on. Hold on. Where are we gone? Here we are. So Bible Antichrist false peace is what I've typed in here. We'll go first with the AI overview. In biblical prophecy, the Antichrist is foretold to bring a period of false peace by first establishing a deceptive peace treaty, often with Israel. Right. I don't know if anybody else has just witnessed what happened. Peace deal with Israel. And already the son of Hamas is claiming it will not last. So the treaty will promise worldwide calm and security, but it is a lie that will last a short period of time before the Antichrist breaks it. The false peace is considered a precursor to sudden destruction, marked by the Antichrist's portrayal, the beginning of the Great Tribulation, and his persecution of those who oppose him. So, again, we're not there. We're definitely not at that point of the peace being ended, but again, we're only at the beginning of the peace. But this is literally what the Bible says. Again, it says about a head wound. It says about wowing the world. This Donald Trump literally just done that. Then it also says about a false peace the Antichrist will bring. Again, the man who apparently had a head wound and wowed the world, which is exactly what Donald Trump done, will then bring a false peace. Right, hold on a minute. So Donald Trump's claiming there's peace in the Middle East here. Again, a peace treaty, often with Israel. So that's literally just happened. It was Donald Trump. We also have a passage saying about a head wound, which also happened to Donald Trump here. Hello, hello. Is anybody else noticing some connections here, some patterns? Hello, hello. So yeah, we've just kind of witnessed all that. To be honest, we haven't working the break of the peace. But again, the reason why you're kind of making these videos and we're telling people, and other people are telling people as well, is because when the peace breaks, that's the beginning of the Great Tribulation. As it says there, for 7 years, it all goes to shit, a lot of shit. That's how we know it all goes to shit. It's all written in a book. Mentioned this earlier in the video. So yeah, we kind of witnessed all that happen, written in a book long before we were born. We've kind of just witnessed it. But the bad side of it all is the peace will not last. It will end, which will basically end in World War Three, the Great Tribulation. World War Three apparently going to last 3.5 years of the 7 of the Great Tribulation. All this is known. That the beauty of it is, it's literally all known. This, if you bother to go and fucking read some old texts, you know what I mean? It's literally all known. So it's also the reason that everything is going to shit everywhere around you. This is also written in the Bible. Everything will die. Morals, decency, it's all going out the window here. Um, and the time of God, if you want to look at it that way, or the time of Jesus has ended, and there will be the devil's run. The devil will get his time, a short time on earth, and ultimately, it all ends with Jesus, who was never called Jesus. Really annoys me that, to be honest. He's called Yeshua. It all ends with Yeshua coming back and sorting all this shit out, and we don't have to put up with any of this bagwash anymore, which is a good thing. But it all goes down in a big ball of fire, to be honest. A big ball of fire. So, be a believer or not, the beauty of this is you're all going to get your answer. You're all going to get your answer. Like that's I always have this debate with people about God, and my end thing is you'll get your answer, mate. Like upon the end of this life, you will get your answer if there's a God or not. And also another factor could be if you don't believe in a God and want to fade to black. Possibly that's an option. Maybe you would just fade to black. We won't even bother judging you. What's the point? You don't want to be here. See you later. Fade to black. Gone. So again, we don't know. That's the beauty of it. We're all in this world, in this reality, and we don't know what's next. No one's ever come back to tell us, but nobody's ever come back and said that it was terrible and that they wanted to be here as well. Is on the side of it. Nobody ever came back. So we'll all find out. But the other side of it is we have a book that's been here a long time. You were born into a world with this book. And this book makes claims, makes big claims, to be honest, very big claims indeed. In fact, it claims the end of the world eventually. It couldn't be any bigger. So, yeah, the book exists. The book's there. It talks of false pieces and antichrists and head wounds and Israel. And it's all kind of there, to be honest. And again, if you've got the eyes to see, this is all pretty much unfolding in front of your eyes. It's just whether you've got the eyes to see or if you've got the belief to believe. That's the other side of it. Like you can put your head in the sand and pretend none of this is happening, but ultimately it is happening, and your head in the sand won't stop it. And that's another side of it. It will not stop it. There is no way to stop it. That's the beauty of it. The book is written, the book is told, the book will be finished. We will finish the book. You shit out of luck. Johnny Cash. We will finish this book. So there is only one way out, and it's there isn't a way out at the same time. Like this world will end according to this book, but there's a way out, and you've been told the way out from birth. Again, if you want to play a game and you want to play it fairly and lose fairly, then you need to know the rules, and pretty much everybody knows the rules. You've been told the rules. Whether you believe the rules is a whole different kettle of fish, but you've been told the rules. Everybody has. You get told them in school, you get told them in church, you get told them through life. You know the rules, and in essence the rules are, if you're good, you go to heaven. If you're bad, you go to hell, right? That's the rules, and pretty much everybody knows the rules. So everybody knows how to play this game, whether you believe the game is being played or if you want to play the game, or if that's always down to you. And upon judgment, when you try to claim you didn't know, you can't claim you didn't know because everybody knows the rules. So it's a very clever game, to be honest. I'd look on this as a game. This is just massively a game. At this point, a lot of people are taken far too seriously in many ways. Again, you're trying to possibly, most probably, build a life in a world that's ending. Is a way of looking at it. You're trying to build a life in a world that's ending. And it'll always go badly for you, to be honest. It'll go real badly for you because you're never going to be able to build a life in a world that's ending. So, you maybe want to turn the page, open the book, and look into what the fuck's going on here, because it does look a lot like, if you look into it, we are living in this book. This book is going to finish, and we're getting very, very, very close to the end of this book. And again, the peace, a false peace, that will ultimately end in destruction. That's the beginning of the Great Tribulation, which will last 7 years. And then after that, the world pretty much ends, to be honest. So, like, that's the Bible. Unfortunately, I didn't write it. I didn't write the Bible. It was here before I got here. A long time I was an atheist. I didn't believe in the Bible till well into my 20s. Went 26, maybe 30s, to be honest. Maybe 30-year-old. I was an atheist. Before I started looking into these things, and unfortunately, for me as well, I got faith through education, not through faith, which isn't quite as good, to be honest. But yeah, it's not looking good. It's really not looking good, to be honest. So let's just have a see. So Hamas don't fucking think this is gonna last. Let's see what the Sun have got to say about the whole affair.
This proposal calls for the release of all remaining hostages immediately, but in no case more than 72 hours. So
I mean, it's good that we got the hostages. That's absolutely brilliant, to be honest, that the hostages were released. Again, no women apparently made it back, which won't surprise anybody who pays attention to what goes on. The women didn't make it back, again, because the Hamas are brutal terrorists. And again, the women, a lot of knew yesterday, as soon as I said that, said because of what they would tell people, what they'd done to them. And he even said the bodies won't come back, I would imagine, because they'll be able to do forensics and know how they died, and it will have been brutally. So I'll be surprised if they get the bodies back as well, to be honest. Yeah, and again, these are the people, these Hamas, again, claiming there's going to be a peace, wherein the son of Hamas here has absolutely no belief whatsoever that is going to be the way of things here, because we know who we're dealing with here. Israel know who they're dealing with. That's the other side of it. Israel aren't stupid. All these Palestine protests, and then we've had to fucking listen to for 2 years. The reason Israel don't give a single fuck is because they know exactly who they're dealing with here. They're dealing with terrorists, vicious terrorists who will literally kill women, children, behead you, stab you in the streets. They'll do anything. We've seen it all. We've seen it all. We've seen it in Southport. We've seen it in London. We've seen it all. We've seen it all over the world. We've seen it. And this is exactly why this piece, even not on a biblical level, if you don't want to believe in the Bible, fair dues, but even not on a biblical level, that's why this peace will not last. It will not last because of who we're dealing with here. Again, we've seen an attack there in Manchester in the synagogue only about 2 weeks ago. Exactly, this is who the people who you're dealing with. Them Jewish people in that synagogue in Manchester have absolutely no control over what Benjamin Netanyahu does in the first place. They don't even live in Israel. So, again, this is who we're dealing with here. We're dealing with brutal terrorists who will not stop, and nobody believes, not even the son of Hamas there believes they will stop. So, it very much, as the Bible predicts, will be a false peace. It's all bullshit. Again, and I'm saying it from 2 angles, to be honest. I'm saying it from the angle of the fucking Bible tells us it won't last. But I'm saying it from the angle of we know who we're dealing with here. We know who we're dealing with. We know the kind of people that we're dealing with, and they will not stop. They will. They haven't stopped in 25 years at this point. Why are they going to stop now? Israel still exists. They don't like that. Why are they going to stop? So for me, there will be no peace. Again, it will bring a period of false peace, as it says exactly there. There will be a period of false peace. And that's what you're watching. And again, there will be a peace for a time, a short period. I don't know that. I don't know that period. Will it be months? Will it be years? But again, biblical time and our time is very, very different. To be honest, it does state that in the Bible. 1,000 years on earth is one day to God. I think it says somewhere in the Bible. So Bible time and our time are very, very, very different. It's seconds in heaven is hundreds of years on earth, or so. Is kind of the way of things. So if you believe in that, if you don't, then I'm just talking shit. But ultimately, again, you will get your answers. The false peace, as promoted by the Bible, will end. It will end in some destruction, which will then end in the Great Tribulation. No one can miss the Great Tribulation. That's the beauty of it. Nobody can miss this. Nobody can miss it. It gets real, real bad. As it was in the days of Noah, so it will be in the coming of the Son of Man. The days of Noah were real fucked up, to be honest, if you learn about the flood and before the flood and what was going on before the flood and why the flood happened. The days of Noah were real fucked up. And they're coming back within the Great Tribulation, 7 years. Again, nobody can miss this. Nobody can miss how bad it has to get for all this to transpire. You really can't miss the Great Tribulation. You know what I mean? It's called the Great Tribulation. It's unmissable by anybody on earth. You will be very, very aware that you're in a fucking tribulation here. Whether you believe it to be great is another matter, but you will not be under any doubts that you're in a tribulation. So all this will unfold if it be true. I believe it to be true personally. Again, I've been watching this for quite a while now. Probably about 15 years, and from everything I've learned, we live in the pages of the Bible. That's kind of what I've learned. We live in the page of the Bible. Whether you believe it or not, we were born into this shit show. Like the angels, demons, gods, fucking giants. Unbelievable fucking weirdness, to be honest. But we were born into it, and it's all been covered up. But that's the reality, it would seem, of our world. Like, our world is madness, absolutely madness. The reality isn't what you think it is. I mean, I was watching something last night on Tartaria, if anyone's heard of that, the mud flood crack in Tartaria, which basically used to be Russia, on old maps, and then it's just vanished. I mean, that's another tale in itself. But there's maybe some backing to that, to be honest. Again, there is some backing, like this Tartaria was on maps, and then vanished. And again, there's a bit of backing that they built the Great Wall of China, not China, and it was a Tartarian wall to keep the Chinese out. There's a bit of backing for that as well. So, like, it's a crazy, crazy, mad world we live in, you know what I mean? I mean, even the prospect of dinosaurs, the dinosaurs weren't millions of years ago, they died in the flood, is another theory that's also got a lot bit of backing, to be honest. They've often been found in large graveyards that look like they've all been washed up and dumped there by water. Again, a flood. So yeah, there's a lot of I mean, again, history. It's his story. That's literally what history says. I'll write it here. Look, HIS story. His story. His story. So that's what history is. It's his story, whoever decided to tell you it at that point. And you could say the same for the Bible in many ways, but the beauty of the Bible is it tries to, or does, predict the future, right? So that's the nature of the book. It's prophetic. It predicts the future. So all you have to do is read it, and see if it all unfolds, which it kind of is. That's why I made this video, you know what I mean? But I know that there's many atheists and non-believers out there, so you're trying to like talk to people who really don't believe what you're saying. So it's a very hard subject to approach, but you're trying to point out to these people who don't believe that there's a book here that they haven't read, that they don't believe, but they haven't read it, but they don't believe it, but you haven't read it, right? This book that you don't believe, but you haven't read. He's kind of predicting the future here I mean, it's very accurate, to be honest. There's quite a lot of accuracy. This isn't the only part to predict the future. I mean, we're just talking Revelation here. You've got Matthew. Lots of parts of Matthew tell you about the end times, and pretty much all of that's right as well. And multiple other books within the Bible. Primarily the more the New Testament, I would say. But again, I think Matthew's the Old Testament, to be honest. So various parts in the Bible tell you what the fuck's going to happen, to be honest, and it's kind of happening. It's happened, or it's about to happen. This is literally just happened. It's happening as I make the video. Literally happening as I make the video. A peace has been brought to Israel by a man who got a fucking head wound there. Well, I'll find that bit. Here he is. Here's the man. Here's the crack about a fatal head wound. And here's the crack about a false peace with Israel. You know what I mean? So, I mentioned this before, but now we're at the point where the false peace has arrived. I was just mentioning the head wound, you know what I mean? I mentioned the head wound and there was a coming false peace. But the false peace has arrived. So that's where we are, to be honest, if you want to know where we are in biblical times and in the Bible. We're exactly here. We're exactly here at the point of the false peace. It's all going to go to shit. Sudden destruction. It's all going to go to shit. That's probably a nuclear blast of some form. And the start of the Third World War, that's probably a nuclear blast. Somewhere ISIS or Hamas or Iran will manage to get hold of a nuclear weapon. Somehow, probably off Russia or China. Yep, sudden destruction, great tribulation to follow. Probably what's going to happen. Again, not 100% accurate, just my theory there for what could the sudden destruction could be a nuclear blast. Again, times that we're living in. So yeah, and a great tribulation of 7 years to follow, 3.5 of which will be World War III. Again, the blast could start World War III. So yeah, we're heading for a shit show here, people, to be honest. And again, I don't mean to scare anybody, because again, the way not to be scared is to be a believer, to be honest. There is a way out of this, but if you're not a believer, then there is no way out of this. Catch-22, honestly, it's massively catch-22, all of this, really is. So, laugh or cry, there's another one. You can laugh or cry, but you can just stick your head back in the sand. That's the other option. Just stick your head back in the sand, pretend all this isn't happening, and hope for the best. But that hope will only last so long, up until the point of sudden destruction, and then the Great Tribulation, and then all hope is lost, to be honest. Absolutely all hope is lost. And you've pretty much lost the game, is another way of putting it. So, yeah, it's that's the summary of everything. So do with all of this what you will. Throw it in the bin, put your head back in the sand, or wake the fuck up and realise we're in quite a lot of trouble here, and that there's only one way out of this. Absolutely only one way out of this. And it's a man named Yeshua, believe it or not. As mad as it sounds, it is madness in many ways, absolute madness. But that's apparently the crack. So again, do with it what you will. Again, that's the nature of the beast as well. The Bible has always existed. I'm not saying anything new here. Nothing new at all. This book has existed for a real long time. All these words have been written down for a real long time. I'm just kind of pointing them out. I'm pointing them out, and maybe the possibility that it's all true. We live in this book, and we're at the end of it. We're at the end of it here, so we maybe need to make plans, because all this is going to go to shit. So I'll leave it there anyway. Do with it what you will. Do with it what you will. Peace.